Hi guys. This little video is just going to be basically on this one problem. This was on the review for the mid-unit assessment, but this idea going on right here is where the biggest problem was on the test, the people that missed most on the test. So I wanted to make sure that I addressed what was going on in this question so that we don't have that same problem moving forward. Okay. So the function is exponential. Now there was one also on the test that had to do with a graph, but it's the same idea about what's happening right here. So the function f is exponential. Whenever you hear exponential, you're going to have to do something to the exponent, not the base. Most people who made mistakes on this tried to do something different with the base. That would make it linear. And so you don't want that. You want to be doing something to the exponent because that's where your variable is. Ooh, I just got brighter. That's where your variable is. So that's where you want to pay attention. So its graph contains the points 0, 5, and 1.5, 10. Going from 0, 5 to 1.5, 10, it doubled, right? From here to here, it doubled. And it's only 1.5 units going here. So if it's asking for f of 3, that's another 1.5 here. So it's going to double again. So f of 3 is 20. Again, exponential. So we're looking for what's happening. How is this growing by multiplying by something? And so it doubled going from 5 to 10. So going another unit, the same amount, it's going to double again. Here's where people had trouble. Excuse me. Use the value of f of 3 to find f of 1 and explain your reasoning. So there's a couple different ways that you can attack this, but I want to make sure you're understanding how this is working. So f of 3, I know that f of 0, let's start here. I know that f of 0 is 5. That's from this right here. I know that f of 3 is 20. I know that f of 1.5 in here is 10, but that's not going to help me because what I want is f of 1. So I have I've got 2 steps in here going in here, and I need to figure this out. So I've got going from 0 to 3. I'm going to go 3 steps, right? 3 steps. This growth factor here is 4. Okay, so from f of 0 to f of 3, the growth factor is equal to 4. That's the growth factor. But that's jumping 3 units, not 1 unit. That's why they're trying to ask you to find f of 1. So f of 1, I only want 1/3 of that growth factor. So I don't want 1/3 of 4, though. I know that kind of sounds the same, but it's not asking for 1/3 of 4. That's how you need to break it down into thirds as far as your growth factor. So that means I need to do 4 to the 1/3. F of 1 is 4 to the 1/3. Okay, so think about how we did it when we talked about growth factors of like half-life. And my half-life, there's one question in here that talks about half-life being 100 years. So I have to do the number of years divided by 100. Well, if I say that my half-life or I quadruple it in 3 years, I only have 1. How much did it grow by, right? It grew by 4 to the 1/3 in 1 year, right? So this would be 4 to the 1/3. Right. So my growth factor would be 4 to the 1/3 here. My growth factor would be 4 to the 2/3 here. It's not what it equals, but that's what the growth factor. So that the growth factor would be 4 to the 3/3. Sorry, here, and that would give me that. Let me erase this, and so I can make sure that it's clear because that wasn't very clear. So I start here with 5, and I end up down here with 20. I need to figure out what's going on in between here. So my growth factor here is 20. So I need to do 5 times something, 5 times 4 to something. My growth factor is 4. So coming down here, I'll do this one in red here. I did f of 3 is 5 times 4. There's my growth factor. I started out at 5. I got 4. Okay, so that's going from 0 to 3 is 4. So to find out f of 1, I only want 1/3 of that growth factor. So but the 1/3 is the exponent of that because it's exponential. So that's what this is going to equal. And if I wanted to figure out approximately what that's going to be, then you're going to come over here to your, let me clear all of this. Oh my gosh, I don't know why that keeps popping up. I'm going to clear that. And I am going to do 5 times 4 to the 1/3, right? And so that's 7.94 approximately. 7.94. Let me say that again. 7.94. So that's approximately that. So if I did it again, right? If I found f of 2, just to show you the process here, this would be 5 times 4 to the 2/3. That would give me this here. So this would be 7.94 and stuff. So what would this equal? Well, now I can come back over here and I will do 5 times 2 to the, nope, 4 to the 2/3. Down. 12.599. I'm going to leave it at that just to make it a little bit more exact. 12.599. And then if I did it again, 3/3 is 1. I would get 20. Okay, I get back up to here. So what equation then defines f? I'll do this one in purple. This is going to be f of x is equal 5, my start number right here, times 4 to the x over 3. Okay, so to the x over 3, because this is 1/3. So now if I have 2 of them, I have 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3. That's where I'm getting this. So that's what that exponent is. So remember that when you have that third, and a lot of people recognize that it's got to be a third of something, you divided 4 by 3. You're not dividing 4 by 3. You're dividing the exponent by 3. And in this case, right here, that exponent is 1. So 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. So that's where that 1/3 came from. So you got to remember it's exponential. You're doing it to the exponent. So when you've got a bigger interval and you're trying to find just one interval, like you've got an interval of 5 or an interval of 100 or whatever, you have to divide to find out how much it is for just one of those intervals. You divide the exponent by that or raise that power to that fraction. That's what it is that you're looking for here. So this is thank you for completing my ed puzzle. And once you've completed this, if you have other questions about the review that was for the mid-unit assessment, go back and look at that and then come to me with questions before you take the retest. Thank you, and I will talk to you later.